Welcome back live. We continue right here. Bob Pompeani, Andrew Fillipponi. Andrew, before we get to the phone lines real quick, I'm going to ask you about James Franklin. Totally different situation, and most college coaches don't like to answer this question, and he did not again today. He basically said he's proud of his 8 years in Penn State. He believes in what they're doing. He had the wrong team they were preparing for. He was still stuck on Illinois after 9 overtimes, wrong stadium, everything. So that was interesting to me because he's so focused. But here's the deal. Why can't a guy, even in college, be honest? Because essentially what he said will lead to more speculation. And he'll never just say, look, guys, I'm here. I'm signed. My commitment is here. Can I predict the future? No. If someone comes, just like any of your professions, if someone comes with an offer that would be interesting to you, would you look at it? Probably yes. Well, that to me is you get the same outcome as you would what he gave today.
Well, I think he is being honest. I think by not coming out and shooting down, the LSU and USC speculation, I think that's James Franklin's way of saying he's open for those jobs or he's open for business. I mean, he had to clarify today that the agent thing was not something that happened this week. It was something that happened this summer that's just being reported now. Well, ask yourself, why is James Franklin, a guy who seems to have immense job security and a huge contract at Penn State, why would he need a new agent? Why would he need someone if the deal's already done? What does he need an agent for?
No, it's a long deal, too. I mean, he has no business. I mean, that goes on and on. So you're right. It's a good point.
So something's going on there, and I thought somebody, and we'll get to the – I know I don't want to, we got to get to calls, Bob, but I thought I wish I could give this person credit. Somebody asked on the Franklin press conference today on the video call, your president and your athletic director are basically lame ducks. They're going to both retire. And I think that's a very real component to that whole situation there, too. The people that hired you or were behind you might not be there. So Franklin might be looking at this as a perfect time to go get another gig, Bob.
Yeah, and I agree with that, too. The coach speak drives me nuts. I still go back to when I was in attendance at a banquet for Todd Graham, who said one thing and 2 hours later was on a plane leaving town. I mean, it was just, to me, despicable. But that was then. This is now, and we're going to go to the phone lines. We also talk about the Penguins coming up. They suffered their first regulation loss of the year. Tampa finally played the way Tampa's capable, and the Penguins found out that Vasilevsky's still the best at what he does. All right, let's go to the lines. We'll begin with our number one Cochrane Go One Better call of the night, and that's going to be Mike in Kennedy Township. Or is it Kennedy? Yeah, Kennedy Township.
Put your glasses on, Bob.
Well, he hung up. See that? I must have had the wrong area, the wrong township, and he got mad at me. So let's go for Mike in Braddock. Mike, I hope you're from Braddock, and I hope you're still on the line.
Yes, I'm still here. What I want to find out from Fillipponi is, what does he have against Pitt, knowing that Pitt is as good as they are, and his prediction was they was going to lose against Clemson. So at what point do he think how good Pitt is? And I will say this last point is I will go with Pitt winning more games than the Steelers.
All right, thanks. Go ahead, Pony.
Well, a lot of my Pitt friends wanted me to pick Clemson, so I did them a solid and made that prediction on Saturday. So I have to at least get that out there, that I was cajoled into doing it. No, I think they're going to beat Miami, even with the Addison and Abadakandi situations. Maybe both of those guys could be out. They might get one back. That's taking weapons away from Kenny Pickett. But, Bob, I think by the end of this, and Mel Kiper had Pickett now as his top-rated quarterback, I think it's absolutely possible he ends up being the number one pick in the draft. I really believe that. If he's already to the point where he's the best quarterback, the number one quarterback in the draft usually goes with the number one overall pick. And usually guys' stock goes up between the end of the season and the draft because guys go through pro days, in the combine, in interviews, and these teams get desperate. So far-fetched when Kenny Pickett came back last year, but I really think they have the best player in college football, the best quarterback, and a guy whose football future looks very bright as well.
Yeah, and Kiper put it out there, citing it similar to Joe Burrow, which it is, although Kenny Pickett's older, and I think that plays a factor. There's still a lot of football left.
I don't know if he's older than Burrow. I think Burrow was 24 his last year.
Was he? I
At
thought he was
LSU, Bob,
I thought Kenny was a year older.
Burrow's older than Lamar Jackson.
Well, okay, but the point is, this decision to come back was the best he could have ever made. I don't think anyone at the beginning of the season saw this, much like Joe Burrow, is sitting in there at LSU, and I don't think anyone realistically expected what they saw, but it goes to show you what a belief by a coach